We are live! Terra Luna has just been hard forked. No, sorry, I mean created. The founders don't want to associate their new token with the old shenanigans that went down with their original one. That's why they're calling it something completely new, Terra Luna 2. Okay, so it's a new blockchain, but the exact same name. And if you held Terra 1, it's essentially being abandoned by all the development teams and all the apps that used to run on it. In fact, all the eggs are in one basket, a historic airdrop for crypto. One that's trying to undo $60 billion of lost value that was wiped out over just 3 days. And actually, it started out very promising, but then very quickly turned to disappointment. But there's a lot of hopeful lunatics out there. Rumors of 10x's, 20x's, and even 100x for the brand new Luna. So in this video, we're gonna go over if it's possible, who really wins out in this Luna airdrop, should you buy Luna 2 now, what should you do with your Luna Classic, and can this ecosystem rise once again and 100x its value to regain its position as a top 5 cryptocurrency. If you're excited to jump in, hit that like button for me, and let's do it. So on May 25th, Terra Validator Orbital Command tweeted out a lengthy post breaking down the details for the Terra 2 network, announcing that the new chain is going to go live on Friday, May 27th. This was Terra's big plan to put that $60 billion of lost value back into the community. And they were trying to do this essentially overnight. So the big day, May 27th, arrived, and Luna 2 got off to a really rough start. Apparently there was a little bit of trouble with some of the centralized exchanges who were wanting to list this token. They weren't quite ready for the launch. So unfortunately, news broke out that it was going to be delayed one more day until May 28th. Then finally, May 28th came around 6 a.m. UTC time. After weeks of waiting, Terra Luna 2 was finally airdropped to its community. There were 2 ways you could have got your hands on this brand new Terra Luna 2 token. Number 1, if you were an original Luna Classic holder. This means you held the Luna token before it crashed, or as their team keep referring to it, before it was attacked. A great PR move on their behalf. If you did hold these tokens, you would get 1.1 of the new Luna 2 tokens for every 1 Luna Classic token that you held. But if you bought in after the attack, you'd get 0.000015 Luna 2 tokens for every Luna Classic token that you held. The crazy difference in this ratio is obviously for the oversupply that the algorithm kept minting during the crash. So quick example, pre-crash Terra Luna was hovering around about $80 per token. Let's say you went and bought $2,000 worth at this $80 price point. You would have 25 Luna Classic token. Now you get a 1.1 to 1 ratio with the Luna 2 airdrop, meaning your 25 tokens would become 27.5 Luna 2 tokens during the airdrop. Meaning in order to break even on your $2,000 investment, you would need Terra Luna 2 to reach $72 per token. But if we put that same $2,000 in late in the crash or the attack, Luna was worth 0.00015, meaning you get approximately 13,333,000 tokens for our $2,000 investment. And at the going ratio, we would get 200 Terra 2. Doing some quick math, we would need the token to reach a price of just $10 in order to break even on our $2,000 investment. So basically, the later you got your Luna, the better chance you'd have of making money off this airdrop. Now, if you didn't hold Luna Classic, the only way you could get your hands on these tokens out of the gate was buying some on any of the centralized exchanges that had partnered with Luna 2 in order to distribute their tokens during the launch. These exchanges include Binance, KuCoin, Crypto.com, FTX, Bitfinex, and Kraken, just to name a few, which in my opinion is a lot of big names considering what just happened to their original token. So was this a good airdrop? Well, the impressive thing about this airdrop is exactly how much the community is allocated. Where unlike a traditional airdrop where founders can keep 30 to 40% of the tokens in reserve for their team and their development of it, users of Luna Classic were entitled to up to 90% of the token allocation if we take into account the community pool, which we should. And where's the other 10% go to? It goes directly to the developers building apps on top of this protocol, meaning there is no VC money or even team allocations for the original founding team of Luna. Now this definitely gives the project a higher chance of delivering value to people like you and me, which are the users of the ecosystem. There is a twist though. The airdrop has been set up tokenomically, so you only get access to the first 30% of your funds out of the gate. The remaining 70% will be linearly vested with a cliff of 6 months, meaning after 6 months, you'll start to get the first percentage of your 70%, and that'll take 2 years to fully come through. The goal here, of course, is to stop sell pressure on the token and to have a lot of their tokens locked up. This makes sure that not everybody is dumping their money all at once, and the same thing happens to Luna 2 that happened to Luna Classic just a couple of weeks later. The downside, of course, is after that 6-month cliff is up, there's going to be a lot of dilution of the tokens out on the market available to sell, and that's going to consistently dilute itself for the next 2 years. So how did the launch actually go? Well, Luna came flying out of the blocks at a whopping $10 per token, and it actually quickly rose very briefly for a couple of transactions to $19 per token. But then it slowly floated all the way back under $4, then settled at a $1 billion market cap valuation, which is about a $5 per token price. Now, do you remember what the old users of Luna Classic needed in order to break even? If you got in post-attack, you needed a $10 Luna, which there was a small window of opportunity for you to break even on that money. And if you got in pre-attack, you need a $72 Luna. And right now it's sitting at about $5. So you're a long way from that. And this is despite all the FOMO posts you saw on YouTube and Twitter telling you to buy before this crypto airdrop. However, there has been actually a couple of risky but big returns in the Luna ecosystem. Anchor, a DeFi app promising 20% APY on your stablecoin that didn't turn out to be so stable, is built on top of the Luna ecosystem and actually is one of the main drivers of traffic to this protocol. They've pledged to move across to Luna 2. But the crazy thing is they personally pay out their APY every single month because they're not loaning this money out at a higher rate because it's 20%. Who's going to take that loan at a 20%? And this meant that they were currently paying out $283 million just interest every month on the $17 billion that was vested with them. Now, On-Chain Wizard had a very awesome Twitter thread that pointed out that they only had $200 million left to pay out in the account that they've been paying out from, meaning they weren't going to be able to pay the APY they owed unless they pulled money from somewhere else. And this was just before the big crash. People were speculating that that was a very timely crash for someone like Anchor, who now didn't really have to pay any of that out. But funny enough, Anchor is one of the biggest gainers in the brand new Terra 2 ecosystem. In fact, it was up over 42% in just a few minutes after it had launched. Now, please always do your research before investing in something like Anchor, because it is, although it doesn't seem like it, a risky strategy. But this high demand for Anchor's coin proves that there is going to be some demand on the Terra 2 ecosystem, which is promising for the long-term value of this protocol, because that's the biggest thing that these protocols need: organic demand. And although Luna didn't smash down the door and race back to their old valuation of $60 billion plus, that valuation was never really realistic for this airdrop. But they were able to rally and relaunch their ecosystem in a matter of weeks. They gave 90% of their tokens back to the community, and 70% of these tokens are vested, locked away for 6 months, reducing a lot of sell pressure. This gives Luna and its developers a $1 billion market valuation and enough time and space and money to build to see if they can increase this organic demand over time. And to have this demand, obviously you're going to need something like trust. And trust is often a hard thing to build back once you've made $60 billion of value disappear in 3 days. And if you don't know exactly how that happened, watch the video I made last week detailing exactly how that crash went down. But despite all this, there are a lot of hopeful lunatics who are holding onto this coin thinking it's going back to the moon. I mean, after all, they're just putting their faith in excellent developers that have a really good track record, a really good user experience, a really great UX, super low fees, and now the largest scale, most decentralized token out there. So it's not the craziest bet, but definitely not one that I'm prepared to make. So lastly, what the hell is happening to Luna Classic? Is everyone just abandoning this, running away, and it's going to ultimately go all the way to zero? Well, it has an extreme oversupply issue. Do Kwon and the team of apps and developers who are building on it have all abandoned it and moved over to Terra 2. It has probably the worst brand reputation known to crypto right now. And usually this means I would not touch it with a 10-foot pole. But after all, this is crypto. This is Web3. And with examples like Dogecoin, Will Smith Inu, and even Goblin Town recently absolutely knocking things out of the park, I can say crazier things have happened, especially to small, passionate communities with a good story. So I personally, looking at the all-time lows and the dip post-airdrop, might prefer to put a little bit of money into the Luna Classic, but of course, I don't expect to ever see that $100 again. We got a lot more cool stuff coming. Hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you in the next one.